You ever made a video before talking about a certain player and the potential signing for a football club, and the exact moment that you actually upload it, it's announced that he's signed for another club? and he's ever done that? I have. Look at it. I have. Honestly, I've got no luck. See, if I fell in the canal, the fish would drown me.
Glorious. No, I won't give in till I'm victorious.
Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 92, and today, again, we are back for another brand new video. Today's other video, we are here to discuss this week's Rangers Roundup. That's right, some may say that it was planned for tomorrow, but guess what? We're back at it today. Without any further ado, let's just do this again then, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Story number 1 then, and it's actually going to be one of the biggest stories that's kind of lingering around Rangers Football Club right now, and it's a story I absolutely hate. Like, every fibre of my being actually hates this. But in case you haven't heard it, the news, the rumours are that Aston Villa is in and has identified James Tavernier as their long-term replacement for not only Alan Hutton, former Rangers player, but El Mohamedi as well, who's been filling in the right back spot. Both players are at the latter stages of their career, not playing their best football anymore, and Aston Villa has identified the right back as a spot they must improve on if they take the next level, whether to get to the Premier League or not. Now, this isn't the first time that a club from down south has had a look at Tav or even put in a bid for Captain Tavernier. Obviously, we had West Brom at the start of this season putting in 2 bids. One of them was a ridiculous loan bid of our captain, James Tavernier. What were they thinking? But the overall interest in James Tavernier isn't something new, and it's not really anything people should be surprised at, because when you actually look at his stats, it's absolutely incredible. And now, I know I've talked about his goals a lot recently, but let's actually dive in and look at his overall appearance and see why these teams are actually interested in him. He's played 55 games, which I rate very, very highly, by the way. He scored 16 goals, he had 20 assists, but also, what's never mentioned, in 55 games, he's been involved in 25 clean sheets. Taking an axe to that argument that James Tavernier can't defend. Jesus Christ, I think I put my back out there. Honestly, I'm getting too old for this. Now, I'd just like to point out there's been no official word on whether Aston Villa is interested or even talking about it. It's Football Insider's website. I know Aston Villa's fan page ran a very impressive article, if I'm honest, but I read through it and I was like, okay, back off James Tavernier, please. But whether the interest is real or if it's just made up garbage just to fill the airwaves and fill up a couple of pages and get a couple of clicks, let's actually discuss the possibility of James Tavernier leaving. What do you think personally? Should Rangers go ahead and cash in on their red hot captain? Because this season's stats, it's not getting talked about by the Scottish press, and we all know why. They despise anything that Rangers do positively, but James Tavernier's season this year has been genuinely absolutely incredible. Whether they're penalties or not, 16 goals, 20 assists, 25 clean sheets. It's never been seen in Scotland for a very long time. This is why other teams are actually looking at him. And do you think that Rangers should cash in on that hype? Because they see it, they're not blinded by the Rangers' hatred. They see a player in there and there could be a wee bit of moolah in it. So get your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you would do with the James Tavernier situation on. And while you're actually doing that, I'll give you my opinion. It shouldn't be any of a surprise to anyone because most people know I'm a James Tavernier kind of guy. Like, I genuinely am. I really rate the progression and the way that he's transformed himself, because you look at the Championship, it was great. He was scoring so many goals for us. It looked fantastic. Then he had that horrific, and boy, I mean horrific year in the top flight of Scottish football where he just genuinely couldn't defend. That was James Tavernier can't defend. Go back and look at that year. Beat every single time by anybody. They were beating him non-stop. So I can understand the defending argument back then. But the last 2 seasons, and especially this season, I think he's been actually brilliant and one of our most consistent players. And even games where we've switched off, and just most recently against Hibs, who was the one guy that was driving us forward? Who was the one spark getting people forward and still running with the ball? Even when the game was sort of dead versus Hibs, you still had Tavernier bombing it forward. I think he's absolutely vital to not only the way we play, but the progression that we're actually trying to make as a football club. And again, it's fine if you completely disagree with me, because I know Tavernier kind of splits the fan base down. Even my own father were a wee bit iffy on the old James Tavernier argument. So again, don't be put off if you don't agree. Just get your thoughts out there. I've given you mine. Now it's time to jump over to Twitter and hear what the people's had to say. So over to Twitter then, there's already 550 votes and it's only been up 10 minutes. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for that support, and I simply asked them the same question as I asked you guys in today's video. Should Rangers cash in on James Tavernier, whether it to be Aston Villa or anyone else that comes knocking? With 74% of the vote, the people vote for no, Rangers shouldn't cash in. Once again, lads, we're in agreement. Yes. Why am I so weird, man, honestly? So let's see what the people's had to say then. True Blue 72 writes, Aston Villa can fuck off. Not the bad word, okay? Think about it. Royal Neil says, not unless it's for 15 million smackaroonies. Register 5 says he may make the occasional mistake, but his goal contribution says it all. Vital player. He is my captain. Cozy writes in, Tav will be here for 55. Ross Watson just writes no. Jack Logan writes no way. Aaron writes absolutely not. Tav has been outstanding this year, and if he stays, hopefully he can replicate it next year. Mitch writes in no. One of the only ones who have shown they know what it means to be a Ranger. If we want to progress, we can't lose him. And the last 2 or 3 that we'll actually read out is Andrew McKenzie says definitely not. And the last one we'll read out is scroll up here, we'll scroll down here, and we'll stop it right here. Comes from Dino. He says we can't replace those stats from this season. We need him to bring 55, and that is a tremendous point to bring up. If we did get rid of Tav, what kind of player can we bring in with the type of money or wages that we can offer people who's going to replicate those stats? Because you take them away, what does that leave us? That is a scary thought. Thank you, Dino, for ruining my night. Story number 2 then, it's actually going to be a wee bit shorter than the James Tavernier discussion, but it is a very important one, and it's one that continues to linger on. Kind of like the Tavernier situation, if I'm honest with you. This one is probably one of the most debated topics in Scottish football this year. It's none other than Mr. Box Office himself, Alfredo Morelos. And can I just say, the fact that Alfredo Morelos is just back from a suspension, he said sorry, he's not going to be acting out, then you see him on the training field just kicking flags and staring them down. I just love the guy so much. I mean, never change, but also change Alfredo Morelos, you know what I mean? But all seriousness, there is an actual genuine discussion about Alfredo Morelos, and it's going to be, guess what? His evaluation on. It's gone up, it's gone down, it's absolutely everywhere. And it's so weird to actually say that, because when you have a young, talented striker who's equally as good on his right side as he has on his left side, he's got a wee bit of everything. He's got the strength, he's got the pace, he can play one up front, he can play in a 2, he can get in behind, or he can hold up. The man literally has everything to his game. He's also played in 46 games and been involved in 40 goals throughout the entire season, and also just in the league, if you just want to focus in that, he's played 28 games and he sits with 25 goal involvements. It's absolutely frightening. It genuinely should be to upwards of money. It should just keep going up with these performances, but every single time it does, Alfredo Morelos has a mad Morelos hang. Now, if you're not familiar with a Morelos thing, it's usually one of these, or one of these. Like, genuinely, Morelos will go on an incredible run of form, then just have a mad moment and be missing a very vital game, and that is where the tweak of the valuation actually comes into play. So I thought it'd be a fun discussion just to take it on this channel, just ask you guys, share it with the nation. How much is Alfredo Morelos actually worth in your personal opinion? And I'm actually excited to see what the comment section's actually going to be like, and see the differs in opinions from high to low. Whatever you're actually thinking, get it below. If you're asking me what I value Alfredo Morelos at, I think it still needs to be upwards of 15 million pounds, because when you look at a striker and what you need, the fact that he's still young as well and he ticks all these boxes, the disciplinary thing, you can eventually coach out his game. I think there's more pros than negatives clearly with Alfredo Morelos, so I'm still saying upwards of 15 million pounds. But if he hadn't been sent off 5 times this season, I'd be saying upwards of 20 mil minimum. And now that we've had our say, let's jump over to Twitter and hear directly from the people. There's been 1,245 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. Now, 16% votes for 10 to 15 million. 19% of the votes for 20 plus million. 24% of the people vote for 5 to 10 million, which is quite interesting. But the far and away winner with 41% of the votes agrees with me, 15 to 20 million bucks. So let's see what they've had to say then. Keep Kent writes in, he's worth more than his weight in gold. 79 kilos times 31,000 equals 2.5 million. I'm not going to check that math. In all seriousness, I'd have valued him at 15 mil, but put a premium on him so he's valuable to us. He's the top goal scorer in the league, only playing about every second week. So for that, put him at about 20 million pounds. Fair enough. John Gibson writes in, if he never got banned so much, he'd be easily worth more than 20 million pounds. Alan Douglas says 15 million plus a 20% sell-on clause. I like that. I take that. Done and dusted. Mitchell writes in 10 to 15 because of his discipline. Wolfsman's got Nards writes in 3 million with his current attitude. 6 with better discipline. Royal Neil says 20 plus for me, mate. And the last one we'll actually read out comes from... We'll scroll up there. We'll scroll down there. We'll stop it right here. It comes from Bob Steele. Writes in 15 to 20 any day of the week, or perhaps a bit more if we can actually get it. So moving on to the third and final part of today's video and this week's Rangers Roundup, we're going to be discussing the indiscipline of the Glasgow Rangers. I mean, you kind of hit peak of indiscipline in a same season when you have top 10 lists ranking the red cards, and you're cutting some out. Some people are trying to blame Gerrard's inexperience, the fact that he's a rookie manager, for these mistakes. Me personally, I think it's just down to the players not being professional enough, not being smarter, and putting themselves in silly, stupid situations. But the third, as always, is just a question to you guys down in the comment section below. What's causing this indiscipline? Is it the manager? Is it the players not taking their responsibility? Is it the pressure of playing for the Glasgow Rangers? What's your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Before we wrap up, I just want to remind you guys, in the description there will be a link to a charity match June the 8th, which I will be involved in, a lot of other Scottish YouTubers, all in the aid of Sam H, which is a mental health and suicide prevention charity. It would genuinely mean a lot to not only me but so many people, because if you buy your tickets, that's going to help to raise more money, and the more money we raise, the more people we're going to help, and that at the end of the day is the only reason we are doing it, is to try and help people struggling. So once again, the link for that is down in the description alongside the Patreon account if you want to help support the channel as well. I've been CJ Over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.